Hi crypto kings and queens, welcome to my channel. My name is Natoshi. So BTC is right now going sideways on the lower time frames. So I want to show you the higher time frames perspective, because the higher time frames will always guide us to what's going to happen on the lower time frame. So I'm going to break it down. We are right now in between two really strong Fibonacci levels, and we are waiting for the market to show us what direction, but somehow, some way, we just might have a drop down to 24, potentially 22k, 22,100. And I will also show you fast on what I see right now on Nasdaq, because Nasdaq, when the market on BTC is moving slow, we can always go into the indices because they're moving extremely fast, and we're able to have more money because while we're waiting for BTC to do something, then we can go into some other pairs and look what's going to happen. So this is what I'm going to break down for you today on where BTC will go and what potentially can happen on Nasdaq. Remember also, if you want to trade both indices and cryptocurrencies together on the same platform, then Prosperity does offer you this with a very tight spread. As I always say, this is something that everyone as a trader are looking for. On Prosperity, you have forex indices, you have metal, you have cryptocurrencies that you can trade on the same platform. If you have never used this platform before, make sure to go and look at this, how to trade on Prosperity. This is a tutorial that I have for you guys where I show you exactly on how you're connecting MetaTrader 4 combined with Prosperity. If you have never used or MetaTrader, please also go in and look at this video that I have right here for you. This is where I show you exactly step by step on how to use MetaTrader 4. If you've never used this platform, it's going to be a little bit different than what you're used to, but you know, as long as we're practicing it, it will become easier and easier. It's a very simple platform to use actually, but Prosperity, you have the link in the description down below the video for it. You also have it pinned up here, and this is of course also how you are supporting my channel. Let's get into BTC. I'm looking at the monthly. We have 2 weeks left before this candlestick is closing, but what we're looking at right now, first of all, we had a perfect retest of the 50% lower high level at 31,580, but we also saw a drop down to a higher low level down at 24,067. So right now we are consolidating in between these two levels, but I want to break it down to the lower time frames, because if we're going to have a pullback down to a higher low level, we've already retested it one time, but sometimes we'll need to come back down and retest the 61.8%. This goes the same way for this lower high level at 35,447. So we are patiently waiting to see where the market's gonna head to. If we are breaking it down to the lower time frames right now, so when we're breaking it down with the trend line also that we're taking from the weekly chart going down to the daily, we can see how the market right now, we're trying to break above this level, but we are still below the trend line. Remember, trend lines are 90% more respected than support and resistance zones. So this is the reason why it's always so hard for the market to break a trend line. But for us to be able to use the levels to our advantage, we have broken above the resistance 28,100. So this will be the guidance that we have. We'll either hold ourselves above this level for that next push up, or we'll see the market break below this level. This would potentially then be a fake out, of course. Market drops down, retest the resistance the exact same way that we saw this high tested this resistance before the fake out. So this is something that's happening over and over again, and we are able to take advantage of this. Look what the market is doing against the levels, and then you take the decisions of what the market is showing you, not what you think will happen. Because if the market breaks below this level, we're waiting for a potential retest. And if I see the market retesting this level from below, then I know for sure the market's going to continue to drop down. What level? I'm always looking at the left, and at that time, I'm looking down at 26,630 for that drop. The market just might continue to drop even more, but we want to be able to take our entry and have our take profit, and then entry again, take profit, stop loss. So we're always able to take advantage of the small movements that we also have on the chart. So as I said in the beginning, the market is going sideways. We're waiting for the market still to either break above the highs or break below the lows, and from that we're taking our decision. Make sure to also follow me on my Twitter account. This is where I give you daily setup updates when it comes to both cryptocurrencies and indices, so make sure to be on here because this is where I give you most of my updates when I'm not live or when I don't have my daily updates like these. So make sure to subscribe to my Twitter, my X account, and you will have the latest updates on the charts. You have the link in the description down below the video, also pinned right up here. When it comes to NASDAQ, we have been retesting a previous high at 15,700. So the market started to give us a pullback. You can also see that we're using a trend line right here, and we have seen how the market is respecting the trend line. So right now what can happen is that we're dropping down to the previous support, 14,530. The same thing, we'll either break below the support level. At that time, I'm looking at 13,955, 13,430. When it comes to the upside, of course, if we're breaking above the trend line, we still need to see what the market's going to do against this resistance one more time. But for the bullish momentum, we want the market to break above the level for that continuation. But right now, we are still consolidating. We are creating lower highs. We can all see a high, lower high, lower high. So this was the low, lower low, because we were still below this low, right? So what we're looking at is definitely a continuation to the downside, because even on the higher time frames, we have a lot of bearish candlesticks, which tells us that we are right now in a downtrend. Looking at the lower time frames, you can see that the market is just going down. If we are taking a trend line on the 4-hourly, we have the trend line down around 14,930. So of course, if the market reached this level, you just might see the market pull back up. But you can see how the market is slowly and steady reversing the trend here, because we were in an uptrend. You can even see right here, high, 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 low, high, 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 low, high, high. Market reversed the trend, create the lower high. Market right now needs to drop down to create the lower low. And of course, we can use this trend line as a guidance, because if the market breaks below, we'll have the next lower high, and that is the continuation to the downside. So when it comes to both NASDAQ and on BTC on the higher time frames, we are in a sideways market. So that's why we see a lot of choppiness. But yeah, this is what I have. Remember, when it comes to BTC, we're waiting to see what the market's going to do against the trend line and also against the resistance level. So keep an eye on these levels and try to have your emotions somewhere else when you're looking at the charts. So if you do not know the difference between trading cryptocurrencies combined with indices, make sure to look at this video right here, because this is where I show you the difference. It's not the biggest difference, but it's some difference. So make sure to look at that video, subscribe to my channel, hit the notification so you know when I'm live tomorrow, when I do have my daily updates. Until we see each other again, bye.